Just saying, for entertainment purposes only, this entire video for entertainment purposes only. None of this information has been fact-checked. Do your own research on everything.
Benjamin Banneker. He built the White House. Look at the other king. Both bow down to the real king. Why?
So who possibly built all these ancient structures?
Let me say this again. Tuesday Louverture was Napoleon.
Let me say this again. Europe, Columbus got here by coming to the empire and asking for help.
Possibly shed new light. You look at the double-headed eagle on the right side.
All the major cities, the major energy centers. Our ancestors set up these energy centers that we call Philadelphia, New York, Boston, Atlanta, Detroit, right? Chicago, Miami.
This was the statue I was trying to find. This is incredible. Look at this one. All the sisters be wearing their hair like that. All of them. Looks just like Beyonce, doesn't it?
So they have the black and white.
By eating the mummies, they developed an infections. Why they don't tell you the real reptilian is this? You want to know why they're not telling you this is what the real reptilian is? Yeah, parasites.
Tartarian banger, you guys are going to get it. Now we in Archon territory. Oh my goodness.
This picture is, look at the face in it. Okay, look at the face in it. There you have it right there. I know you're not blind. I know you're not blind. Okay, so I just want to show this right. Yeah, that's a woman. I told you.
Welcome back to another creepy video. I'm JetskiChucK, and you want to be careful with these creepy TikToks. These disturbing discoveries might have you question everything and rethink your reality. If you haven't already, hit that like and subscribe button. So let's dive into these creepy videos.
They are responsible for making Europe and America what they are today. Except they don't want you to know that. See, the Moors ruled most of the Iberian Peninsula for the 8th century, and they brought things like mathematics, sciences, architecture, agriculture, art, science, basically everything that we consider modern day Europe. But that's supposed to be a secret. They are actually the ones that are responsible for bringing Europe out of the Dark Ages and into the Renaissance. But again, you're not supposed to know that. Meanwhile, while the Christian Europe had an illiteracy rate of 99% and 0 universities and 0 libraries, Moors, they had 17 universities in 7 cities and over 70 libraries. And then they introduced their education system to Europe. There was a man called Zuriab. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but he was a Moor. And he actually pioneered changing clothes based on the season. That's how dumb Europeans were at the time. They didn't even... What? He also invented deodorant, daily bathing, and invented toothpaste. Like, no wonder the Black Plague destroyed Europe. They were filthy. Zuriab also introduced a 3-course meal. Soup, main course, dessert. And the Moors, they even introduced crops that are still prominent in Spain today. Moorish cities also had streetlights, hospitals, and running water. And streetlights and paved streets weren't even introduced in London and Paris for another couple hundred years. Moors are also the ones that built the aqueducts that brought running water from the mountains down to the cities, which gave Europe running water. The father of modern surgery was also a Moor, named Al-Zawrawi. Don't know if I'm saying that right either, I'm sorry. He developed innovative and precise surgical equipment and the premier textbook of Western medical training. Oh, and I bet you thought that the Wright brothers were the ones that are responsible for inventing flight. Nope. Fernaz, again, sorry if I pronounced it wrong, but he was the first one to actually attempt flight scientifically, and he was actually successful. The only thing he wasn't successful on was the landing. And those are just a few of the ways that the Moorish people completely changed Europe. But again, they don't want you to know that.
I got a filter on them, but hey, did y'all grow up watching The Black Knight with Martin Lawrence? This movie got a lot of gems in it, man. Watch what he called them.
Do you mock me?
He called him Moor the whole movie. Why he call him Moor?
You might want to take a chill.
Because back in the day, when they really had the castles going on, it was black carbonated beans that was traveling the world that went by Moors who was teaching them how to bathe properly and separate the animals from the beds and the pits, and music and culture. And that's exactly what he doing in this movie, but in a comical way. And I'm so glad that I'm able to understand that right now, but was able to enjoy it and understand it as a kid. Check it out, The Black Knight.
Hey, that's a great movie. That's the great movie for family night. You know, everyone get together for family night and watch that one. That is a classic. Who knew that it was based on a true story? Most of these movies I'm starting to see. Godzilla vs. Kong. This movie, Black Knight, based on a true story.
Tartars, or the people of Tartary, are Moors, and the great Tartarian Empire, that is now the hot topic of the day, was a Moorish dominion in the Moorish Empire that spanned the earth. Tartars, or the people of Tartary, are Moors.
I just wanted to take my time and go through each one of these photos, because there's a lot of good photos I've seen that will, you know, possibly shed new light to who possibly built all these ancient structures. Before we dive in deeper, a quick honorable mention.
Oh, we've got your ass. We've got your ass now. This is the La Sagrada Familia in Barcelona. And the people that said they built this, they didn't build it. This is what you call Moorish Tartarian. So the mainstream narrative says they started building this before Nelson Mandela was alive. They said they started building this before Morgan Freeman was alive, before World War I and World War II. They're saying they started building this at the last reset in the 1800s. So you're trying to tell me this took 141 years to build and you still haven't finished it yet? There's still scaffolding on the roof, brother. So they like to say the original architect suddenly died halfway through, and they rely on funding every year to, no, listen mate, don't lie, you haven't got the blueprints for this one, you don't know how to build it, because look how ugly and mash up the building really is. This is what you call melted brick. This building was here before the mud flood. This building was there when the Moors ruled Spain. And when you look for construction photos, all you get is something like this. This don't look like a building site. This looks like a reset rescue mission. So no, you man didn't build that building. The Moorish Tartarians did. History has been rewritten. Everything you've been told is a lie. Do you really think the people that built these buildings had no technology? Do you really think civilizations before us was less advanced and primitive? If you believe that, you have truly been fooled. You must question everything. History has been rewritten.
Just look at these structures. I never seen nothing like this before. These are all new buildings to me. This one, where is this even at?
Do you really think civilizations before us was less advanced and primitive? If you believe that, you have truly been fooled. You must question everything.
Where are these? I don't even know what to say. This doesn't even look like a cathedral. This could be just like a town hall or something they used back in the day. Who knows? And another scary part, I believe some of y'all said they didn't even have bathrooms in these back in the day. So that's something else to think about. They're building these civilized structures, but there was no bathrooms. So that asks another question. How are they getting their nutrients? You know, some people go as far as to say that they had these special fireplaces that was emitting a secret frequency, and that frequency was able to give them their nutrients. I don't know. Kind of like how a spider web eats its web. I don't know. Something like that.
You've heard of this, right? It's the Great Wall of China. But what if I told you that the Chinese didn't actually build it? So who built it then? Well, what if I told you that the Great Wall of China was actually the Great Wall of Tartaria from the Moorish Empire? You know, the ones that they don't really want you to know about? I know, crazy, right? Well, maybe you can answer me this then. The Chinese built the Great Wall of China, then why are the steep sides facing towards them? Seems odd. Also, why are the lookout posts also facing towards them? You would think it would make it easier to defend yourselves if you were facing the enemy, not yourself. Seems a little weird. You know, like that way they could see the enemy coming and they could properly defend themselves with bow and arrows or whatever they were using, throwing rocks. It just doesn't really make sense to build everything facing you, not away from you. Oh, and what about these old maps? What's that? Tartaria? That's funny. Maybe it's the Great Wall of Tartaria surrounding China to protect themselves from China. And then when the empire got taken out by the mud flood, the Chinese kind of just took credit for it because, you know, as we all know from history, the winners and the victors write the history. Just a thought. If you want some more content on Tartaria, then make sure you like this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments and let me know what other topics you want me to cover. See ya.
Oh, we've got your ass. We've got your ass now. The Great Wall of China? You mean the Great Wall of Tartaria? Let's take a look at a few old maps. You can see Grand Tartary in the green and China in the red. Let's take a closer look. As you can see, the wall is circled around China. And again, another Tartaria map, you can see the wall is circled around China. And if you notice, the steep side of the wall is facing China, making it hard for any invaders to climb up. And if you look closely, you will see that the lookout posts are facing China, making it easy to pick off your enemies with crossbows one by one. So no, China didn't build that wall, the Tartarians did. Oh my days. Oh.
How crazy is that? The Great Wall of Tartaria. So they were trying to keep the Chinese out by the looks of it. They were protecting, trying to keep the Chinese out.
And this building used to power itself off the ether. These peaks right here at the top, they're called cathodes. They're all electrical conductors. That center window at the top, that's what your DNA looks like. The door is the magnetic arc. You can see right here at the top of these points right here, they got wires ran off of it. This was all free energy right here.
Magnetic arc, just like that giant thing in Paris. Shout out to Retro Gamer for these pics. But these giant, look at these giant structures. Cathodes. Just like he mentioned in the front of the building. These were giant magnets. Think of these as a giant magnet going down into the ground. Especially this one. This doesn't get no better than this one. This green one in Russia. That's probably the best one I ever seen. Shout out to Retro Gamer for that. Retro Queen Gamer. You can see the giant magnet right there before you even go in the door. So maybe that's another reason they made those giant archways for those giants, to get this giant cathode, is that what it's called? A giant magnet going down into the ground.
The door is the magnetic arc. You can see right here at the top of these points right here, they got wires ran off of it. This was all free energy right here. That is not a cornerstone. This is a face stone No Mason would do that. There's going to be a cornerstone with a date and a maker's mark in the foundation. This was built in 900 AD. They added 1,000 years to everything. My father was a stonemason. Look at the weathering on this building. Just look at the weathering on the structure alone. This is 1,000 years worth of weathering. They ran this wire up at the top off the copper railing. This all goes up to one of them cathodes. You could see they poured this concrete right here next to the building. This is not a foundation. This is the next tier up. Look at the brick laid across. See how it goes down? These are all tiers. There is not a cornerstone on any corner of this building. You can see this lower ramp. This all goes down. They put these walls right here to cover up the brick, well, the stone that they laid. This goes down. These are what the stained glass windows are supposed to look like before they take them out. This is the artificial energy unit that they put on it. This used to be steps going up to the church. They closed this off and bricked it in. And this building used to power itself off the ether. These peaks right here at the
Just thinking that this could be 1,000-year-old building is beyond fascinating. I know you guys talk about the 1,000-year millennial reign. You know, it's to think that they added 1,000 years to this definitely helps that case. Again, I don't know if the 1,000 years happened, the millennial reign. I do not know. I'm not going to sit here and tell y'all that. If I believe I'll get there one day, but I'm not there yet in my research. Keep your head on a swivel. Do your own research.
The Statue of Liberty is a Moorish Tartarian free energy device antiquitech that gathers energy from the ether, standing grounding on a star fort. The Statue of Liberty is a Moorish Tartarian free energy device antiquitech that gathers energy from the ether, standing grounding on a star fort.
Last night, they're ours. They belong to us. They're ancient, these buildings. There's a whole city underneath this city. They've been all the major cities, the major energy centers. Our ancestors set up these energy centers that we call Philadelphia, New York, Boston, Atlanta, Detroit, right? Chicago, Miami, Los Angeles. They are energy centers. They're not where they are in huge, large cities just because of some coincidence. There's energy and power in these places. London, Rio de Janeiro.
Nobody knows who built these buildings, right? If we had to say who built them, the Moorish Tartarians did. If you ask me, and I had to tell you who built all these ancient structures, the Moorish Tartarians did. That's the best thing I can tell you. How? Airships.
You heard the Tartarian?
Yeah, Sam Tripoli brought that up.
Yeah, there's many levels to it. One of them is there's evidence that there was a great mud flood. And then there's evidence that there was an electromagnetic cataclysm. Did you know bricks conduct electricity?
Bricks do?
Yeah.
Here it is. Bricks can be charged up to 10,000 times, says scientists. Whoa, so your house could be a battery?
Oh, I tried to tell you that the Tartarian Empire was also in Brazil. And you didn't believe me. You didn't believe me. But guess what? When I say I got your ass, oh, I've got your ass. You see, what you don't understand is the eyes are useless when the mind is blind. So even though you live in Brazil and you see these buildings every day, you don't know what you're looking at. You're looking, but you can't see the Brazil you know was founded in 1822. That was the time of the last reset. The history you know is false. Come on, brother. You've got to ask yourself, was everybody using the same architect? You can find these buildings all over the world. Chicago, Italy, Germany, and of course, Brazil. Oh, I tried to tell you.
We're going to turn up the heat a little bit on these waters. Hey, I got love for everybody. Make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button. If you got Facebook, share this video on your Facebook, your Twitter, share it everywhere because this is going to be a banger. Now let's turn up the heat a little bit, y'all.
So if we look back in history, we look in the history of the Moors, they basically ran Spain for 700 years. And they were really advanced in mathematics and language and hygiene and a lot of other things. Okay, but let's fast forward many hundred years. Okay, so in the 1400s, before Columbus came, in America, we had people of black skin color, and as years went on, it was basically said that didn't happen, that didn't exist, right? And it's been covered up over the years because I think in most modern books you'll see it's just all Indians. Well, the reason is because the term Moorish was changed to Indian and right about 1700, and pretty much every source of material will show you this. And there's a lot more to this. There's also a tie-in connection with Tartary, but you know what this means is that in America, alongside the other Indians, you had Moorish blacks, and there was actually some races or some tribes of Indians that were half Moorish and half Native Indian. And there's just so much to this whole history here. But the fact of the matter is that we have been lied to severely. And I think a lot of people don't like the truth. But we have to take what we can get. And if this is the truth, then so be it. So if we look back in history, we look in...
Hey, I like that. I believe that, man, honestly, that there was two people here, Indians and the Moors. You know, that is, we got to take what we can get, like they said, you know, because the main narrative that they've been pushing and teaching ain't it for entertainment purposes only. This lines up way more than what they've been telling us.
Maleficent, they called her race of people the Moors. Maleficent, they called her race of people the Moors, and the Moors are and I just saw it again. I was just like, yo, if you erase our history, like most black people, we don't know where we come. We think we came from slaves. We don't know our bloodline.
The two civilizations or the two cultures that are most often obfuscated, obscured, corrupted by Western academics are Egypt and the Moors, for essentially the same reason. We can't allow these people who we know are distinctly African, that we would misname black or Negro, we can't recognize that these are the people that were our tutors.
Maleficent,
we're from the Americas, not Africa.
Black Americans in the Americas.
Moors ain't from North Africa, Toxic Gaming. Ancient Americans settled that place that we call Iberia. They was actually Algonquin speaking people. When they went over there, they was called Berbers, and they actually did come from the barbarous eras that we call America. They even had traditional wear when they got there, hence the turban or the head wrap with the feather on it. That is directly South Indian culture. When you find the Algonquin conquest of 11,500 years ago, those are ancient Americans that settled, made their way north, made their way south, civilizing and creating places that we call England, Europe today, creating places that we call Egypt in historical time. Fast forward, 1491, a bunch of Anglos came in, teamed up with other Slavic and northern Norwegians, people north of the Arctic Circle came in. Those particular people that established parts of Europe that you call Moors are ancient Americans that went over there first to establish, ran back and came back home. Generations in America had forgot about them, started calling these people Europeans. This is how history goes. I give it to you in a nutshell, but it gets very, very elaborate.
It was already here.
Curse on Moors and Saracens. Not for their ungodly ways. Master Robin would never have left. What manner of name is Azim? Irish? Cornish? Moorish. Curse
I need to get me a setup like that, man. I need to change my swag up. What's that headpiece called? What's that? I need to start rocking that, man. I can't do that little red hat. I'm sorry. I can't do that. But I can do the, the turban with the scarf. You know what I'm saying? Get me a little sword, curved sword on, man.
America is the land of the Moors. In 1845, a congressman referred to Mexico as belonging to the Mauritanian races and the Moorish people. Here's the source so you can see it for yourself. On page number 8, you can see where they specifically mention the Moors. Here's another reference. Starting on page 374, you see that when the Englishmen came to the Americas, they indifferently referred to the natives as Indians and, on page 375, Moors. But wait, let's go back to when the congressman was talking about Mexico. It's not the borders of Mexico today. This is the map prior to the end of the Mexican War in 1848, and you'll see that all of the West Coast was Mexican. But then that raises the question, what about the East Coast? Well, here down below you see the Delaware Code, Title 29, subsection 106. The Lenape Indian tribe of Delaware was formerly known as the Moors. And here's that same information from the Delaware Code from their own website. And as you see at the bottom, it says delcode.delaware.gov, meaning .gov. Now, the Delaware government admitting that the Lenape Indians are Moors is very important, and it was clearly articulated in this book right here. Is look into the fact that the United States didn't exist until 1774, so you'd have to look in the diplomatic intercourse and correspondence between the parent colonist countries and the Sultan of Morocco. Which brings us to this point right here, that when the Dutch entered into trade agreements, the Dutch fur trade, with the Lenape Indians, who we know that they're Moors, they first entered into a treaty with the Sultan of Morocco. And here's the treaty right here, which allowed the Dutch to have free trade in Morocco. They disguise it as a Lenape Indian treaty, but notice how the Delaware government admitted that the Lenapes are who? Moors. We can also see in this book right here that this portrait, this German portrait or Dutch portrait of a Moorish king could easily be an American Indian ruler. Another reference point is from the state of Illinois, House Resolution 0689, whereas the government of Illinois admits that Moorish people are indigenous to the Americas and Moorish peoples are aboriginal to the Americas, both North, South, and Central America.
Damn, they said it right then and there. It's not guessing anymore. It's fact now. Like, they actually have it written down that there are black indigenous people that been here. They all didn't come from Africa as slave ship. So if you're watching this and you're trying to put the pieces together, basically what he's saying is that there were black people here before the slave ships came and all that. So the narrative that they're pushing exactly isn't the truth. Do I know if slavery happened? Yes, slavery happened, but I don't think it happened to the extent where every single black person came from Africa. No, there was people been here, buddy. That's just my take on it,
The state of Georgia admitted the same thing in their House Resolution 1203. And as you see, the link down below is Georgia's official government website. It says legis.ga.gov, and they said, whereas the Moorish Americans are aboriginal to the territories of North, Central, and South America. And as we can see from this book right here, Morocco as it is, published in 1839, there's a Sultan of America. And as we can see here, the word Morocco is derived from Medigesh, which is derived from the Berber word Amerouk, which from Amerouk we can see and hear America, America, which means America is not derived from an Italian man named Amerigo, when the Berber word is 1,800 years older than Amerigo. America is the land of the Moors.
So this has to do with the people who are Moorish. Just a question because I don't see anyone talking about it. So for those who are familiar with the authentication of the birth certificate process, as far as the Moorish realm of things goes, why isn't authenticating the birth certificate for Morocco being talked about? Or at least why you can't authenticate the birth certificate for Morocco anymore? Because explaining how foreigners can get Moroccan citizenship because it can be granted to persons with an affiliation to the country. Example being an authenticated birth certificate, done for use in this specific country. But Morocco is now part of the Hague Convention, as you can see here. For those who are unfamiliar with the Hague Convention, here's a synopsis from the Department of State's website. It has to do with inter-country adoption. Pause and read. And people assume that adoption can't apply to them because they're under the assumption that they're adults. But on the birth certificate, you're listed as a child, as you can see here. So you gotta realize you never grew up in a corporate sense. You're still legally incompetent, which is also why the Uniform Transfers to Minors Act exists. But yeah, I don't see anybody talking about it. So this has to
¿Usted cree que en el cielo? ¿Cómo sabe que le voy a preguntar? Hijo, nuestro cielo es aburrido. Allí no hay vírgenes, ni doncellas como en el de los moros, porque ellos sí y nosotros no. Una buena pregunta para el creador. Pero, por si te sirve de alivio, te diré que podía ser aún peor.
When movies tell the truth.
It's a fact. Yeah. You see, Sicilians have black blood pumping through their hearts. And no, if you don't believe me, you can look it up. Hundreds and hundreds of years ago, you see, the Moors conquered Sicily. And the Moors are niggers. So you see, way back then, Sicilians were like wops from northern Italy. They all had blonde hair and blue eyes. But, well, then the Moors moved in there and, well, they changed the whole country. They did.
When movies tell the truth.
Did Freemasonry steal its rituals and rites from the Moors? This is one of the most intriguing claims concerning the origins and traditions of Freemasonry, the idea that Freemasons stole their traditions from the Moors. Firstly, it's important to understand the nature of Freemasonry itself. It is a fraternal organization with roots that trace back to the stonemasons guild of medieval Europe. Its rituals, symbols, and practices have evolved over centuries and have been influenced by many different cultures and traditions. To claim that Freemasonry stole its traditions from the Moors suggests a one-sided direct transfer of knowledge and practices. This oversimplified narrative fails to capture the complex interplay of cultures and ideas throughout history. The origins of Freemasonry are lost to the antiquities of time and shrouded in mystery, with connections drawn to various historical entities, including the Knights Templar, ancient Egypt, and Phoenicia. Some have also suggested links to Islamic mysticism and a tradition connecting the Masons with the Moors of North Africa. But are these links evidence of theft, or do they just simply reflect the cross-pollination of ideas that is so common throughout human history? Historical research shows that during the Middle Ages and the Renaissance, Europe was greatly influenced by the knowledge and culture of the Moors. The Moors, who ruled Spain for over 500 years, were instrumental in bridging the gap between ancient and modern civilization, and their contributions to science, art, and philosophy were immense. This influence undoubtedly extended to many aspects of European society and thought, including the precursors to modern Freemasonry. But to say that Freemasonry stole from the Moors misrepresents the way that cultures interact and influence one another. Cultures are not static, isolated entities. They exchange, borrow, adapt, and build upon each other's ideas. This process is not theft. It's how human civilization has progressed throughout history. Freemasonry, like other organizations and traditions, have always been a melting pot of influences. To single out the Moorish tradition as the one sole primary source of all Masonic practices is to oversimplify and misrepresent the rich tapestry of influences that have shaped Freemasonry over the centuries. In short, the relationship between Freemasonry and the Moorish traditions is complex and interwoven. It's a story of exchange, influence, and shared human history rather than a tale of theft, and appropriation. As we continue to explore and understand our past, it's crucial that we approach these historical narratives with a keen eye for nuance, complexity, and the shared heritage of human knowledge. Somebody be. Did Freemasonry steal its ritual?
How you gonna jack the red little hat, man? Y'all could have did something else. Put on that Captain Crunch hat that Napoleon and them had. Speaking of Napoleon.
Freedom. Always talk about history. One name that will never left you is the name of Napoleon Bonaparte. Okay, you're gonna keep hearing this name forever. Not too long ago they make a movie about Napoleon, right? Let me say this again. Let me remind y'all again. The name Napoleon Bonaparte is 100%. It's 100% Creole name. Okay, his name is 100% Creole name, and to be exact, his name is actually a command. Let me say this for some of y'all because y'all don't get it. His name is actually a command. It's not really a name. He's the character. They create a character out of him, and the character they create, they graft. They literally grab this character out of Toussaint Louverture. Let me say this again. Toussaint Louverture was Napoleon. This is why they always trying to lie to you in a way to tell you, well, you know, the black Napoleon, because, you know, they trying to draw contrast. Because I tell you, these folks, they operate on what we call universal law. They have to tell you the truth, but at the same time, they have to lie. They're going to throw the lie in your face, but, you know, sprinkle a little truth around. If you know, you know. But if you don't, it's on you. But guess what? They escape universal law. They will not be punished because the universe understand they throw the truth. They throw a bone at you. If you don't catch it, it's on you. So that's why they've been lying for so long and get away with it. Because they constantly balance their lie with a little bit of truth. But since we're not catching up, it's on us. Mother Nature won't punish them. That's why they got a reign that survived that long on lying about everything until now. Now understand, when they told you that Toussaint Louverture was actually black Napoleon, they trying to tell you straight up in your face that he was the Napoleon. Now folks, the reason why none of us, or most of us, never catch up to it is because you never speak one of the, not even that one, the oldest language of the continent after the Olmec. That's what they want to call, they want to relabel this language as the Hebrew language. No, what they are talking the Hebrew today, this is East and Latin, East European and Latin infusion language. The real Hebrew, or the real Hebrew they're talking about in Hebrew language, is what we call the Creole. The Creole is the old Hebrew language they're talking about. They don't want you to know that because they flipped and switched everything, and there's a reason why they are the one that freedom. Always talk about history. One name that will never let.
He was throwing a lot at us there, man. Napoleon's real name, Toussaint Louverture. Sound like Louis Vuitton, Louverture. Toussaint. I love that name, Toussaint. Look at this one. All the sisters be wearing their hair like that. All of them. And they got the thick thighs to go with it too. That hits a little too close to home.
Just wiped out any trace of their language and their culture. We've been taught in the American education system is all.
Can I just flip through the pages? Or is that's the only picture here, right? Well, just this, yeah. So when was this, what was the information on that in terms of when was it printed or created?
I'll find out.
Okay, all right, thank you. All right, so I'm in the private room right now, and, yes, please, yes. Thank you. So I'm in the private room right now, and I have to sign a little waiver. Okay, so yeah, man, this is real. It's real. It exists. It's in the British Museum in the private section, and you have to have a private appointment to come see this.
Looks just like Beyonce, doesn't it?
They have the black and white, and then they have the colored.
Yes, Native Americans weren't the original people of this land. We actually...
Lezu, the Moorish Empire ruled for 711 years of dominance. And instead, the church became the vector, the leader. They ventured out to the old...
Again, I'm keep telling people, this is what...
Lezu, the Moorish Empire ruled for 711 years of dominance.
Yes.
Lezu, the Moorish Empire ruled for 711 years of dominance. The Moors were looking to replicate New Egypt globally. They started to procreate with the Slavs, which were trafficked women bought by to them as concubines. They ended up having bastard children with them, which was forbidden in the Brotherhood. They believed the purity of the blood could maintain the reincarnation of the ascended masters. As this practice of blood mixing spread all over Europe, many of these barons had fractioned territorial leadership in houses just like Game of Thrones has shown. Many of them didn't bear any sons within their marriage, so they used their bastard sons they had with the Slavs to pass down the leadership. As this practice became more popular, many of these new barons' houses choose their mother's side instead, due to the harsh treatment of the Moors. It was practice such as this that gave birth to Vlad the Impaler, or Vlad Dracula. His goal was to wage war against his Moorish ancestors to be kicked out of Europe. He was once held captive by the Ottoman Empire. This is where he learned the secret about the blood, and after he became free, the Crusades' war had begun, and he joined alliances against the Ottomans. Every kill within the war, he began to drink the enemy's blood because of what he learned. He believed he could harness the soul of these soldiers and bear of their secrets. As they show you in Dracula movies, the dead adversaries are always hung up on sticks as a ritualistic symbol of the crucifixion of the Christic blood. After the Crusades' war was won, the church became the vector, the leader of the new world in the Dracula order. Vampirism was introduced in the secret walls of the church. As their new colonial era begins, the descendants of the Moors, consisting mostly of a mulatto class and Caucasians as the ruling class, they wanted to finish the job of their Moorish fathers for global domination to conquer the new world. They ventured out to the Old East, in modern day, the New West. In Lezu, the Moorish Empire ruled for 711 years of dominance. They ventured out to the Old East, in modern day, the New West, based on the exploration data of the ancient Moorish navigators, documents of voyage and relics. It stated that the New World was guarded by supernatural forces and unexplained mystical events, that many tried to sail and never come back. The church drew the conclusion that the potential Messiah would most likely be reborn to the New World. This was the motive behind 1492 mass immigration expedition with Columbus, and under the guidance of the mystical brotherhood, the Magi-Mage alchemist Moors with Musa Mensa map of navigation. Several recruitment of the finest soldiers from all Europe and Africa sailed to the New World. Within the journey, the violent waters of the Atlantic Ocean, they encounter with the mystical creature known as the Simbi, mermaids. They were the coast guards of the continent. On the horizon, there were many wrecked ships and abandoned vessels from past attacks. Columbus and the Magi-Mage faced the imminent threat of a sinking ship. They prepared for the unthinkable, ritual human sacrifice. They brought kidnapped men and women, used as bait to throw them in the ocean as a decoy for the mermaids to attack them. This caused them to pass without interruption, It became a heavy price to pay for the conquest of the New World. Upon his arrival, Columbus and his foes were amazed and ecstatic of the marvelous wonders of this site. The architecture, the civilization, the pyramids, before they got completely covered by vegetation, which now look like mountains. Haiti, Quisqueya, Bohio, which is the land of the ascended master soul's return. It was an advanced civilization filled with joy, honor, and respect. A true paradise on earth, as opposed to the outsiders coming from a broken world, ravaged with hatred, greed, disease, and exploitations. They took advantage of the kindness of the indigenous people as a weakness. They made their move, wanting to take over the territory by force or alliance, using false religious doctrine. They were God-chosen people demanding marriage into the royal bloodline. The Queen of Haiti, Anacaona, she declined Columbus' demand. The King of Haiti, Caunabo, was shipped to Europe for the Queen of Spain, Isabella. He was also a safety net for safe passage from these violent mystical mermaids to Europe, because he was also a voodoo chief, and his magical connection would guarantee safe passage to Europe with the Bible prophecy of a coming future Messiah and the sacred bloodline. Columbus, witness and understand, the fluent Hebrew-speaking royal family, was the direct lineage of the prophecy. With Queen Anacaona, she overstood the nature of the beast and chose death before marriage. She shouted Ayabombe, meaning liberty or death. She foresaw that her royal bloodline and sacred tradition was doomed for spiritual bondage and captivity. Many indigenous royal bloodlines were shipped to Europe, Africa, and many other parts of the world. The history of slave trade was completely done in reverse. The real trade was known as the blood trade, the bloodline trafficking. As the Queen accepted the fate of this brutal reality, ultimately choosing death was an honor, a weapon of spiritual warfare. She was hung and drained for her blood, similar to the crucifixion of Yahshua. She became a Loa, the messenger of spirits, the soul of the ancestors, that will guide and prepare the upcoming Messiah. Years of oppression, injustice, ecological destruction, spiritual oppression continued until September 20th, 1758. By the grace of the Most High, the prophecy of the Messiah was here. Born as Isaiah, the son of indigenous woman POW and Dahomey African soldier, he rose to power by the guidance and the protection of the LOA. Lengleso was his guard. He led the greatest battle of good versus evil, the Haitian Revolution. This war defeated the world's superpower, ending their evilness and the destruction of humanity. His plantation name was Jean-Jacques Dessalines, but Isaiah was the Messiah, the liberator of the world. He became the emperor, forged his flag and sigils in red and black for the indigenous army, and the lion for the bloodline of purity, authority, and royalty. He later on dies from betrayal by his brotherhood over a ruthless French general that he set free, Rochambeau. His mercy and compassion for the general cost him his life. His brothers believed he lost his way by forgiving a demon like Rochambeau. Some believe he sold the war efforts and he then became the sacrifice in a ritualistic manner. Inside of a Masonic church, he was cut to 13 pieces, just like in ancient Kemet. King Ausar, Osiris, his blood was drained and drunk by many traitors. His skull was sent to the Vatican as collection of a powerful artifact used as a vessel for Masonic rituals, and the war of religious dominance continued. They ventured out to the Old East in modern day.
Man, this is getting dark. It kind of reminded me of the catacombs at the end. If you saw that, man, these cathedrals and all those bones in the catacombs, what's really going on? How many gems are in this story?
We know the truth now here. You think you from Africa, huh? We got melanated Indians on the wall in the museum in Macon, Georgia, with temples on top of mound pyramids, and you think you from Africa, huh? Let's keep going. We got step mound pyramids tore down in Georgia, and you think you from Africa, huh? Let's keep going. We got whole cities with temples on top of pyramid mounds in Georgia, Macon, Georgia, and you think you from Africa. We got Haru, Horus, the Birdman ideology with a fire pit, just like Egyptians, in Georgia, and you think you from Africa, huh? We got pyramid type structures aligned with Orion's belt in Macon, Georgia, and you think you from Africa. Let's keep going. We got ancient ancestors' bones taken by the government and never shown again, but you think you from Africa, huh? We got ancient irrigation systems just like the Nile River had, but you still think you from Africa. We know the truth now. We know the truth now.
That's what they like to show you. To tell you the emancipation, that look at you, you was on your knees and just your great white man come and save you. Look, you see that bullshit? Do you see that bull? That's what you call deconstruction to reconstruction era. They rewrite history, they flip everything, and they insert themselves in. And guess what? Since we are the next generation, the last generation that suffer from this bullcrap, then we fall victim from these new stories. But the ancient time tell a different goddamn story, and it don't fit none of these people. And that's a fact. Now, stay focused, because I want to show you something, okay? I want to show you something. Now, make it make sense. Now, this is Abraham Lincoln, right? Just make it make sense, though. Why would they want to call this picture on the left Abri Africanus A? Huh? I want anyone to tell me what would have inspired someone to make a campaign and call this dude on the left African? Huh? I would like to know. Does anybody here know why they call him Africanus? Huh? Why would they call Lincoln Africanus? If anybody here know why? Huh? Nobody is here know why? Renaissance? I don't know what you said. Whitey blood? He was copper? That's right. He was dark skinned. Now, a lot of people talking a lot, and this picture is out there and people losing their shit. But I just want to make it make sense. I just want it to make it make sense. Okay? Now let me show you this. Make it make sense for me. Now, what is the odd? Okay, what is the odd? And what is the universe conspiring to make somebody look just like them, wear the same clothes, with the same features, with the same structures, and out of nowhere, he was not him? That's what they like to show you. To tell black and white. This shit makes sense, people. What is the odd to find a darker one or a black versions that happens to be looking exactly like him? Now let me show you this again. So when they call this one Africanus Abe, which one of those two this title fit? Let me say this shit again. So if this dude title fit this picture here, or it fit the other one. Aha. Okay, so y'all big kids out here. Y'all get the point. Okay? This is who it fits. So all alone, folks, this is your Africanus A. This is what they hide from you again. Listen, they're ready for this live, though. They ain't ready for this, man. This knowledge we drop in here is gonna change life, and people just gonna literally your world is collapsing. Everything you know is upside down. Okay? We not making shit up. And look at the dress.
We not making nothing up. Make it make sense, y'all. This is a long one, man. I'm not done. We still got some more to cover, man.
Cause see, there's a reason why they never want to tell us about the empire. They're just trying to say, oh, well, Haiti have an empire and the empire didn't stand. Let me say this again for some of you guys out there really slow with it. In case you don't put the brain cells, because your brain cell is completely brainwashed, or probably your arrogance. Understand, ain't no slave. Let me say this one more time, folks. Because some of y'all really that super geniuses like that. Ain't no slave from Africa that's going to come to the bottom of a boat, that's going to come here, that don't know nobody, they have no oral history, they have no lineages, they have no connection, that's going to create an empire. Let me say this again. Maybe y'all still don't get it. To be an empire, you need bloodline. An empire is a tradition of bloodline. That means you come from a group of people that come from powerful lineages, or people that have connection, or people that inherit power. Ain't no slave from Africa that don't speak the goddamn language, that don't know nobody, that's gonna come here and eventually come from nothing. You don't even know how to read. You better yet don't know nobody in the goddamn place, and you running an empire. It is impossible. But this is how smart we got to brainwash. We were so completely bugged out this is what you call a spell. You have Haitian folks out there, those that call themselves scholars, and within the Haitian community, repeating the same nonsense. They will tell you, we was running an empire, but how the hell you in an empire as a slave? They're just to show you the oxymoron. Ain't no slave can do that. Okay? So therefore, they did that to us because they don't want you to know since the 1492, Haiti was still an empire since and beyond that time, okay? Because what you call, let me say this again so you know the roots of the empire. The roots of the empire start with the Olmecs. Let me say this again. The roots of the empire start with the Olmecs. What you call the Olmec. The Olmec is what you call the Totoshi. Okay, the Totoshi is where it started. That was the mothers of all empire to the continent. This is where it started. Okay, the Totoshi start the empire. It start with them. Then, when you start having different outsiders dying, let me say this again. Europe was dying. A lot of people talk about this. Okay, what you saw in the top with this little hat, it's not a hat. This is actually a Moor's feds. Let me say this. This is the Moor's feds, okay? The Moorish feds. So I want to be clear for some people here, because you always got confusion. People always said, oh, we were Moors. No, let me say this. The Moors was the M-U-U-R. The M-U-U-R is us, the Moors. There's different spelling, okay? So there's a difference between feathers and actually feds. What you saw hanging here is the feds, because this represent when we kicked out the Spanish, we hang every single Moors, the traitors, them feds Moors. This is a symbology to tell you that we hang them, the ends of the Moorish, the foreign, the Spaniard, all the Spanish. When they said Spanish, understand Spanish were the Moors. Let me say this again. The war we was going through dealing with the Spaniards were the Moors. It was still the Moorish Empire, the Mauritanian, all of these Arabs. Understand that. This is a part of telling you their reign is over in the continent for good. This is why we hang the feds hanging on the tree of liberty. That's what it means, liberty. All over TV, and they trying to always make her look like she's some sort of a Sambo African person, and she's a maid and all that, and not knowing this woman still doing what her ancestors was doing with the hair wrap. We assuming this head wrap has to do with slavery. As opposed, this is what our Maya ancestors, this is an Olmec, right? This is Maya tradition. Look at the phenotype. Huh? Now, I want any one of them to show me if they fit this phenotype or if they fit the head wrap. Yeah, I mean, this shit even gets so bad. They're like, well, you know, well, it's because they was in slavery. They don't want us to have our hair out. We have to cover our hair and have a head wrap, not knowing this is not true at all. This is what your ancestors was doing. This is genetic talking. This is genetic activities. You were not doing this because of your hair. You was doing it because this is what your ancestors, this is part of your culture. Okay, listen now. You got some suckers like talking. But listen here. Man, listen. This is right here. Mardi Gras. Okay? Mardi Gras. This is in New Orleans right there. Understand, what we call Mardi Gras, is nothing else but a veneration of our ancestors. This is a celebration for our ancestors. I don't see any one of them dressed like that. Listen here. Listen, they don't even have carnival because carnival is what we've been doing. See, a lot of so-called Dominican gonna call themselves to be indigenous. Ask them when the last time they have a carnival. Matter of fact, I'm even gonna go there. Show me a carnival in the 40s. Cause you gotta take it back. I have to bring it to a 40 timeline because the 40s is when they start to show you videos of certain culture. And that's a good time period to know if you cap it. Listen now, I have not, listen, we got receipts for days, man. We ain't gonna stop, man. We ain't gonna stop. Now, understand, this is in Peru. Cause I remember one of this crazy little sucker. I was in the live 4. Okay? Read this. It's good for you. It's fundamental. It's fun to your mental. So you just go through the process. So for all you native folks out there, understand what you are. Okay? You read it. Huh? You are what? A native born. You are established inhabitant over those that immigrants. Those of what? Immigrants. Understand, when you said native, when you talk about your Tainos, when you said you got Taino blood, you talking about the foreign people that got here. Okay? These foreigners what? Asians. These foreigners what? Interbaskins. These foreigners what? Siberians. These foreigners what? What you call Alaskans. They are the foreign. And they meet with us here. So once we have babies with them, these babies were born here, they become Native Americans. Okay? But the people that was occupied this land before foreign people, it's us. And we have the artifact to prove it. This is in Peru. Look at the drawing in the wall in Peru, folks. Look at the top one. Look at the dark skin. Look at the phenotype. Because this brother, I remember 3 days ago, he said, yo, man.
Your name. His name Freedom.
So I guess there's a slave trade that happened in Britain.
Let me say this again. Europe was dying, so Columbus got here by coming to the empire and asking for help. And then we lost it all. But as opposed in Haiti still have that culture because they were the last remnants to fight while the empire still collapsed. But they still maintained some things because the spiritual practice was still intact. So they maintained the traditions till now. But they still believe it come from Africa, both things. This is the only problem with them. But that just show you the power of education. Even though the Haitian know they maintain the culture, but they believe that culture come from Africa, both things. That's the power of education. That's right. Geechees in the South. Okay? South Carolina. So they thought this culture come from Africa. And better yet, they'd never seen anything, any drawing in Africa, any murals in Africa, any hieroglyphs in Africa, proving the existence of this culture. They just said it because that was a part of the education, which we all been brainwashed. Oh, you come from Africa. So you assuming just the fact that you come from Africa, that means whatever you do culturally must come from Africa. This is how your subconscious work for you. That story create layers upon layers of lies, layers upon layers of brainwash. So everything you do, you automatically associated with coming with Africa, as opposed with the truth. All of these evidences right there in the wall in Mexico, showing you where all of your things that you didn't even know about, all of it is right there in Mexico to remind you this is where the culture comes from, not other way else. And this is what's so funny, just to show you how the brainwash is no joke, because now even your little common sense will not be able to kick in. See, the brainwash is so deep, your common sense does not even allow you to just resonate for a quick second. How would you believe this culture come from a different continent as opposed to another place that's right there with you within the continent? How would you believe that? So for some of my Dominican brothers here, look at the person talking. This down there, it's here. Brothers right now, that shit is a thing. So you think that don't have hair in the front. So when you therefore look at the picture phenotype and look at the Aztec in the bottom, then you see where the resemblance look like. Now, if you don't believe me still, look at another Aztec sculpture or artifacts. Look at the nose, look at the face feature. And what's so funny and crazy about the artifacts, they even paint the artifact. They paint them brown skin, what you call black, our skin tone, to make sure they remind the next generation who they are. Now, look at ODB. ODB look just like the sculpture and he look just like the bottom drawing. We are not making this up. Okay? So, shout out to Earth. As we can see here, okay? Oh, listen, man. These folks is hurt. I would have hurt too. I ain't gonna lie to you. If I was you, I'd be hurt too. Because you looking at your bubble being burst wide open like that. They just split your wig wide open. Huh? They just split your wig wide open. So everything you've been knowing is a freaking lie. I'll be hurt too. Because in the back of your mind, what are you going to have to show now? What are you going to say? Because you know y'all been holding on to this so-called title to shame people. Okay? Because y'all been using this title to shame people, not anyone, to shame us, to throw this word, you are African. It's almost like behave. Oh, this ain't you. Oh, shut up in my land. Really? My people always helping anyone. My people welcome all of y'all here. My people teach and educate y'all. We civilize y'all. We never use our knowledge or our ways to disrespect any one of y'all. If y'all get this far in our civilization, if y'all get this far in this world, it's because of us.
Hey, it's getting real. Shout out to the angry chief for this information, y'all.
Phenotype never lied. What you see here, let me say a big shout out to Miss Fletcher, yo. Okay. She's the oldest living person that survived Tulsa. And once again, Tulsa, Oklahoma, Tulsa was the last outpost of the empire. The last little outpost of the empire where our people was after the Trail of Tears. We moved down there and we rebuilt over and we were thriving before the European unions come together. And this was the only first place in America. Also, I'm not going to say first place. There's many others that they use military to destroy the place. So again, this is all about the empire, the destruction. So if you know a lot of Black Americans that have family from Tulsa, if they were not alive, none of us of this generation will know of what happens in Tulsa. Okay. So guess what? She's 110 years old. My grandfather's right now is 105. So our people still around. Okay. That's something about true indigenous blood, that we have this longevity naturally. And guess what? What you saw on the right side, this is the picture of the oldest skeleton in America. Okay. The oldest skeleton in America is what you call Louisiana. That's the oldest skeleton. So they reconstruct the bone, okay? They reconstruct the bone, and guess what? That same feature, the same phenotype look exactly like Miss Fletcher. So for some of y'all out there still arguing, because you still have some of them saying, oh man, this ain't you. It's pathetic because we have the video actually was out there with the scientists. It was a sculpture, one of the best facial reconstruction scientists in the world. And he said that the phenotype is Negroid. So we ain't stupid. You know what Negroid mean? The first people, the original people, the one that was there first. So therefore the truth is out there, but they've been suppressing. Within the same story of Louisiana, this statue, the moment they revealed this shit, it was like they actually have the real bone for real. It was in Brazil. They end up burning the library weeks later after they actually tell the world who was the first and the oldest Americans or the oldest Tamaricans, who was there first. Back to the mummy again. Folks, exactly, for real. Now, listen now, I'm going to get there with y'all. See, my people smart. My people smart. People, they were eating these mummies. These so-called elite, parasitical elite of today, because they want to become us, because they don't come from the consciousness, they don't come from the knowledge. So they're assuming by eating the flesh or by eating the mummies, because it was very, popular in Europe. They just literally eating mummies. They develop an infection. Let me say this shit again. By eating the mummies, they develop an infections. So these infection is worm. Yo, listen, man, you ain't gonna get this knowledge nowhere, man. This knowledge is too much for people. This is the ancestors using me to drop the knowledge on y'all. Since the Egypt mania, they was eating the mummies. You have billionaires going all over and collecting bodies and consume them. Within the process of consuming these bodies, they catch infections. And these infections is worm coming out of their body parts. Okay? So now these infections end up giving birth to these worm. Okay? That's these worm that shit end up giving birth to. And guess what? They create, because remember, all of the so-called scumbag, they belong to a hierarchy. They belong to a club. So within their club, they understand if one of them, because the club is trying to emulate Egypt. They're trying to just duplicate Egypt within their own practice. So if you know whatever they practice, based on their practice, they want to do some their own shit. So they come up with their own shit. Let me show you something. For some of the people up in here, I'm going to show you something else. You guys know, let me see. Damn, this picture might not be able to be here. You guys know about Aleister Crowley, okay? So you guys knew what Crowley was trying to do. You guys knew what Madame Blavatsky was trying to do. All of these people is literally people that to the mummy again. Say this shit again. If they tell you the real reptilian is these parasites, it's going to force you to live a healthy life. That means you're not going to buy their genetically modified food. That means you're going to push for a better world because you don't want pollutions anymore. It means you're going to care about the children more. Holy shit. I just destroyed the Matrix tonight. Yo, man, you know what, man? Roll the coin, son. Roll the goddamn coin, man. And smack the paw up in here. Smack the paw out here, man. Get the lights up and roll the goddamn coin and smack the paw out here. This is what it's all about, folks. It's nothing more and nothing goddamn less. Yo. Let me furthermore go. Yo, smack the paw, y'all. Smack the paw. Hollywood, people. Hollywood fabricate this reptilian and this so-called evil eating people shit. They did that. Not reality. Let me say this shit again. Hollywood create this nonsense that we are operating in. This is a 90s shit, right? They call V. It was dope. I remember my mom, my mom would not lose us episode for you. Okay? That was a guy named Donovan. Donovan was the guy that my mom had a crush on. Donovan. Man, I was a baby. I still remember that shit. Just make it make sense. But anyway, this is the beginning of this reptilian phenomenon. Because that show was the pop culture that gave birth with a lot of children that's born with parents that was a fanatic of this show and they truly believe it was truly real. This is where the caps start. Now let me explain furthermore to show you how the real shit happened. This is the real reptilian that's causing harm, folks. This is the real reptilian. Let me show you this. Okay? Let's just start with this. You see what you're looking at here, people? This is bacteria. This is living entity that your eyes could not catch. This is under a microscope. These are the living entities that is the silent predators that's doing this shit to us. And you think they are inside of us. These are the reptilians.
Those are the reptilians if you think about it. The parasites. Oh, God. Make it make sense. These the reptilians?
This is what Carson not telling you. This is what Billy Carson's not going to tell you. This shit is not as hard as you think, but it requires a humanity. It requires the simplicities of life. It requires the truth to be told, not entertain ideas that furthermore push humanity into fear and furthermore push humanity into chaos. Now ask yourself this. Why they don't tell you the real reptilian is this? You want to know why they're not telling you this is what the real reptilian is? Yeah, parasites.
Tell me there's not a face on the back of this moth, though. Do y'all see that face?
I use this term, but it's Zemiyaya, or we want to call it Obia. I really do this. And once ancestors come visit us, we know when ancestors coming. And this was an ancestor. This is what we call, in our way, this was Dantor. This is Erzuli Dantor that visit us. Because we just did a service. When this butterfly show up is after we did the service, and that show up into our womb. This was in Haiti. I take this picture in Haiti, okay? So I've seen other people trying to lie, trying to make it seem as their shit. I'm going to show you other picture from this butterfly so you know I'm not capping, okay? Anyway, what I want to show you in this picture is look at the face in it. Okay? Look at the face in it. So even with nature show you the universal prime phenotype. So this for all these so-called natives out here. Nature show you who's the first. Nature show you what phenotype is the oldest. Nature show you what nature recognized as the primal phenotype. So what this butterfly look like? The Olmec. This is the big nose.
It does. It looks like a sister. I'm not gonna lie.
Nose, almost like my nose and the lips. There you have it. So I don't even try to have no validations of myself. Mother Nature done show me. Mother Nature done show us who have the universal primordial look. How, if nature would have come to existence, what shape nature gonna take?
Hold on, y'all gotta see this.
And there you have it right there. I know you're not blind. I know you're not blind. Okay? So I just want to show this right. Yeah, that's a woman. I told you. This is Erzuli Dantor. Dantor comes as butterfly, and we know after we perform a service for her, she show up, and that was the butterfly. That's why I know that was Dantor 100%. And let me say this before I just move forward.
This looks like an Indian, a black Indian. You see the feathers and all that in the back? Tell me what y'all see, man. This is ridiculous.
The Tartaria mud flood theory is a controversial hypothesis that suggests a catastrophic event took place in the 18th or 19th century, resulting in a massive flood of mud that covered entire cities and wiped out entire civilizations. According to this theory, the civilization of Tartary, which was once a powerful empire that covered a large part of the Eurasian continent, was destroyed by this event, and its existence was deliberately erased from history by the ruling elite. One of the main pieces of evidence cited by proponents of the Tartaria mud flood theory is the presence of mysterious buildings and structures in various parts of the world that seem to be older than the officially recognized timeline of human history. These structures, known as megaliths, are often made of large stone blocks that would have been impossible to move and erect using the technology available at the time they were supposedly built. Another piece of evidence cited by proponents of the Tartaria mud flood theory is the strange architectural features found in many old buildings in Europe and elsewhere. These features, such as strange windows and doorways, seem to have no practical purpose and are unlike anything found in modern architecture. Proponents of the theory argue that these features are remnants of an older civilization that was destroyed by the mud flood. There are also claims that the Tartaria mud flood theory is supported by geological evidence. Some researchers have pointed to the presence of sedimentary layers in certain regions of the world that seem to indicate a massive flood event took place at some point in the past. Other researchers have claimed that the soil samples from various parts of the world contain high levels of unusual substances, such as iridium, that are typically associated with meteor impact or other catastrophic events. Proponents of the Tartaria mud flood theory is
Tartars or the people of Tartary are Moors, and the great Tartarian Empire, that is now the hot topic of the day, was a Moorish dominion in the Moorish Empire that spanned the earth. Tartars or the people of Tartary are Moors, and the great Tartarian Empire, that is now the hot topic of the day, was a Moorish dominion in the Moorish Empire that spanned the earth.
I have a theory on how they built these airships. There was some type of foundry nearby, some type of architect building nearby, and they were picking these up piece by piece, the original bricklayers. And they had dropped these airships off. That's how they're able to build them so quick, because it was like a giant Lego. All you had to do was just transport it from somewhere. That's my theory on how all these got built, because you'll see the same exact structures across the world. These boys were transported through airships.
So I told you that the Tartarians were a part of the Moorish Empire, and you didn't believe me. But when I say I got your ass, oh, I've got your ass. So, the Moors ruled much of Spain for almost 400 years, from 711 to 1086, before they was driven south and continued their rule of southern Spain and the Kingdom of Granada for a further 400 more until 1492. Now, did the Moors bring Europe out of the Dark Ages? The Moorish advances in mathematics, astronomy, arts and agriculture helped propel Europe out of the Dark Ages and into the Renaissance. The Moors brought enormous learning to Spain that over centuries would percolate through the rest of Europe. And how dark were the Dark Ages really? For historians who were primarily from Texas, Those centuries are indeed and are most likely to remain lost centuries. In other words, the Dark Ages weren't dark because they were bad, but because our knowledge of them is limited. But that's just the thing. These are not the lost centuries. These are the centuries that they tried to hide. These are the times when the Moors and the Tartarians used to rule. Now this is the Tartarian flag, and this is one of the Moorish coat of arms. Notice that it's a black bird with a yellow flag, and if you put them both together, you get the double-headed black bird, which represents the Moors and the Tartarians. Now look at the Moorish Tartarian flag next to the Russian flag. It's almost exactly the same. And if you look into the center of the Russian flag, you will see a white horse ridden by a white man killing the Moorish Tartarian black bird. So I told you that the Tartarians were part of the Moorish Empire, and you did.
Black and white, black and red with the feather. He was the regional leader in what you call Miami, or what you call Florida, because the name Florida was from the Spain. He was the one pushing the Spaniard out. George Biasu. So once again, so Haitians supposed to be slaves. Better yet, the slave is in every goddamn war, and the slave dressed better than their master. Now I want you to show me, since he was a slave fighting for his master, show me one of his master dressing like that. Huh? I want to hear it. I want to see it. He was the one leading the war in Florida. When they told you the Seminole War, that's your leader for the Seminole War. Okay? And they want to call you Seminoles because Seminoles is a Spanish name, mean run away. You was not Seminole, right? You was running an empire. The empire was fighting. And some people here, they love to say, oh, you know, we was Apache. Let me say this because you don't speak French. Apache is not a name of a clan. It's not a name of a tribe. It's actually determined what was going on. Apache. It's a French term. Apache. That means you're a barbaric. So you savages. Okay? So if they call you Apache, just know that you literally are someone without senses. You just like, you're a little savage. So since to make you think that, you know, it's something outside of you, though, you know. So you should definitely, once you saw our versions of Alien, because they're working about an alien right now, you know, these scumbags working with on the lab right now with a genetically modified creature that they themselves splice, and they themselves have neural link inside of them so they can control the mind of that creature. They're going to give you their alien version, and you're going to think it's outer space alien. In reality, it's a genetically modified creature. There's going to be your new overlord. There's going to be your new so-called, you need to bow down to this newly advanced species. Nah, it's all fabrication. Okay? We were doing this. These are a bunch of giant that they have recovered many places, and they have a lot of mummies, giants, and some bodies wrapping, and it's all over. Look what you saw. Look at you see the fro in the head? And the reason why they're not disclosing the giant talk is because of race again. Race is the biggest factor of holding us backward. The reason why we're not evolving, the reason why we stuck is because of race. The day and the time we no longer see.
This looks just like Avatar, doesn't it? Look how giant this dude is. They're putting it through an MRI machine? Don't tell me Avatar is based on a true story too. Oh my God.
Race, humanity will be a type 3. We'll have a type 3 civilization in no time. The time we no longer see race as an issue, where we don't value each other based on skin color, is the time we will become a type 3 civilization. That's all it is. Nothing more, nothing less. So these are the giants. They don't talk about it. They don't talk about it because the giants don't look pale. The giants look like the people they want to hide evidence from. That's all it is. It's politics of hate. That's the game. The politics of hate keep the world from evolving, because everything they hate is everything they keep facing. And that's the problem. And these things they hate is what they need to evolve as a species themselves. So for that reason, we just literally stuck. So we stuck as a species because a group of hateful scumbag decide to keep us in a buffer zone because they don't want to face what? The truth. That's the deal. They don't want to face the truth because their truth is what they want you to believe. Now, let me show you more constructions with these entities, because a lot of these buildings to make you think that, you know, it's something physical body, because the body does not have the magnetism frequency it needs in order for them to become that size. So everyone you saw that actually reached 7'5", 7'6", these are these are the people that were supposed to be 24 foot tall. But the level of depleted oxygen only made them stop from this area, and these folks end up dying quick too. And that's what happened. Ain't no alien built nothing. We did. Okay? And when you say giant, we're not talking about a different species. We're talking about another way of humanity. Okay? Another side of humanity. Humanity can get to gigantism. This is them carry those blocks. You know, people like, man, these are 24 tons and 3 tons of these rock is heavy. Nah, you saw it right there.
Hey, giants might have really did build the pyramid. By the sounds of the oxygen levels and stuff, let me know what you guys think below.
A giant carried those rocks. Now look at the rock size with a normal human. So this guy literally on this guy's ankle. Did you understand? This dude literally on this guy's ankle area. More like the calf, my bad, not the ankle. It's calf. This is how big we were. Okay, so ain't no giant building this shit. I mean, ain't no UFO, ain't no alien. We did. Humanity did that. And these people is a part of humanity. And guess what? They were melanated. Okay? So we not making this shit up. And not just for some people here that just wonder why I say this, because it's the truth. Look, this dude literally walking around with 2 elephants. Did you understand the size of elephant? Did you understand? Did you understand the size of elephant? How huge elephant looked to us? And how heavy that shit would have been when it come to us? And this dude literally walking around with this joint like it is nothing. Yeah, it's tight. Exactly. Okay? So we were in good harmony with them. Humanity and all of the, because it's still humans. There's just a human that achieves the size of a titan. There's still human that still achieves the size of a giant. But nevertheless, that's human. We were connected with all of them before we physical body, because the body does not have the. I think when Putin come out and just start to show these evidence, it was just because he was such a great guy? No. He knows that if Russia gonna survive this upcoming attack that he's about to get under, he must tell the truth. Remember, this building here, if you saw the outside architectures, they are built kind of like what we have here. But the reason why Russia didn't destroy them is at least another proof they have some sort of consciousness. And this is why they want to invade Russia for a long time, because most wars, let me say this again, most wars are a part of the deconstruction eras. Let me say this shit again. Most wars are a part of the deconstruction eras. They literally start wars to go destroy artifacts and destroy buildings. So the reason why that they've been so anxious to go to Russia, because Russia have a shitload of places they don't destroy. That means they didn't go with the deconstruction timeline. America did, but they didn't. So that's why you see they start to show picture of today, because Russia know that he got to face universal law. So why not tell the world a little truth? The reason why you saw they destroy all of these buildings is the same thing you're looking at here. You see what you're looking at here? That's inside of these buildings. And what do you see? All of the people that built them. Let me say this shit again. What you saw inside of this building is literally the people that built them that you're seeing here. See that? Now ask yourself this. How long Russia have these buildings? For a long time. Now the question is, why they never reveal it to people? They never do. Until now. There's a reason. It's called politics. But at least I give them some credit. They didn't destroy those buildings. They maintained it. Well, guess what? That's the same agenda. It's simple. These buildings have the people that build it all inside of it. As opposed here in the United States, what we call the World's Fair, what they call the World's Fair, these buildings, when you went inside of them, the people that build it is all inside of it. That's why they destroyed it. Because we have our faces plastered every single places from these buildings. Okay? We got our faces plastered all over them. This is what they destroyed. That's think when Putin come out and just start to show these evidence, it was just because
this just is the nail on the head for Moorish Tartarians building all those civilizations. I mean, what more proof do you need?
You assume it go exactly that they find Akhenaten. This is why you assume it go exactly what they want you to say. They said Louisiana Purchase. So you thinking about it's a purchase. No, it was. You assume it go exactly what they want you to say. They said Louisiana Purchase. So you thinking about it's a purchase. No, it was not a purchase at all. They tell you this. It was Louisiana Pure chase. It was a pure chase. They were chasing the empire out of here. And this is what you call that chase is what we call the Trail of Tears. Let me say this again. That chase is what you call the Trail of Tears. They were chasing our people away from these cities. They were burning these places and destroying them. So they were chasing us out. That's what you call because Louisiana was the headquarter of the empire in America. Okay? Let me say this again. Louisiana was the headquarter of the empire. So if you chase them out of here, the empire is over. It's over for the empire. So that's what it called the Louisiana Purchase. So it means Louisiana Pure Chase. Or if you say French, Louisiana Pure Chasse. You pure chasse. That means you pure chasse. So chasse means chase. So they were chasing the empire out of here. That's what the Louisiana Purchase means. And people don't know that. It's not their fault. The spirit don't teach them and give them the knowledge they want. And this is why most of our people was fleeing and moving, and they start taking over these environments, start taking over these buildings. And this is why you find places like this. Let me show you the aftermath from the chase, okay? For some people they're still thinking it's bullcrap. Let me show you the aftermath from the chase. It was obvious. That's when the destruction system started. They start to take out these buildings, and most of these things was completely raveled and completely destroyed. This is the aftermath from the Louisiana Purchase. These are these are energy towers they are taking down. See that? These were energy towers they are knocked down on us. That is the result of the purchase. They were chasing us down. The pure chase. That was the chase. Get us out of here. Burning these buildings. See, this is the building right there. That's how they burning these buildings. So now ask yourself this. If you really built them, if they said they were the one responsible, would you destroy them? No. There's no in hell you tell me that you built this magnificent building. You built all of this beautiful civilization for you to just knock them down like that. And I'm going to show you why they knocked them down. And I'm going to show you the reason why the focus was to knock it down. Okay, so let me show you more places they burnt down. Okay, that they think when the physical body becomes Connecticut. Now you see this guy you're looking at here? He was the one that signed the Declaration of Independence for them. Sucker like y'all gonna, man, get the fuck out of here, man. You really sucker like y'all gonna, man, get the fuck out of here, man. You really, this is Chicago. Look at the top and the bottom. They destroyed it and replaced it with a little box because they're not creative like that. They couldn't build them over. So they're giving you what their mind can perceive. They give you where the limit of their so-called imagination and creation. This is how far you go. A freaking box. Look at what we create though. Look, did you see the architectures in there? They literally destroy what they couldn't build. That's what you call jealousy. That's what you call hate. That's what you call deconstruction era. This is Chicago. Make it make sense. Huh? Make it make sense. If you build it, because they just try to, why would you destroy it if you build it? You know how long it take you to build this shit? Forever. Why would you destroy it? Now, for some people, look at here. This is building in Haiti. They destroyed it. This is the same architecture. They completely destroyed it. I'm gonna show you a couple of them. This is the Haiti White House. Dominican Republic couldn't even do that back then. They were not a part of the empire. As far as I'm talking about people that moving. Now, when I said the real Haitian, they're not Dominican. They are real Haitian. They are real indigenous Haitian. They are real Kiscayan. For my real Dominican out there, not the one that believe they're Dominican. Those that believe they are Haitian. We are one, my G. I'm not fighting you. Because you were a part of the empire before the empire fall and separate the region. This is what we build in our glory. Okay? Before you become something you were not. Now, look at the size. This is how they destroyed them. This is in Haiti. Look at the size of look at the people by this shit. This shit almost look like a step pyramid. It's just to show you this is like the step pyramid in Mexico. Look at the architecture. You gotta be a master builder to do that. They destroyed the bitch. Just so you know, they don't want the next generation to know how great we were. Look at the people in the corner, folks. You see how small the people look compared to the building site? Sucker like y'all gonna make it.
So these guys, this kid is the next in line to be another elite bloodline of the same group of people that have the power. You don't find nobody do anything like that to any white people in the world. Go watch this kid's video. You saw the picture of Selassie. Nobody do this to these there. Only to... Now, this is where Queen Elizabeth comes from. And does she look... This is Queen Alexandria. Does she look like a white woman or a mulatto? This is why all their hair is always up. A whitey person, pure whitey, don't have hair like that. These are the mulatto groups of people. This is why the queen always got a little mini fro. Because of where she came from. She gonna always make sure she got that resemblance of her nobility, because the only black nobility, what you call the swarthy, was the nobility of Europe. The Huguenots was the nobility of Europe. That's why she wear her hair to be like her ancestors as a sign of nobility affiliation. Okay? Listen, history is a lie. That's his story, not the story. Are we gonna listen now? We gonna ruin the lie. We putting the truth out. It's important because I'm going to show you even more down the line. Okay? Now this is the new guy now. No, the one that died before her. Look at the other king. Both bow down to the real king. Why? Ask yourself why the crown of London come and bow down to the real king. Why? There's both of them there. There's the queen and the king. Both bow down to the real king. Why? They know the truth. There's the difference between me and you and them and us. We on the outside, we see things the way Hollywood make us see it. And the propaganda is so strong to us, we thinking that everything goes the way we see it. Oh, she's the queen, man. Look how they running stuff. Yeah, she can do... No. When it comes to these folks, when it comes to these circles, these families, there's hierarchies. They know who to deal with, how to deal with. Selassie is the descendant of the Medicis, the real power. Okay? Selassie is a descendant of the Yeshua, the people that bring religion into play. Because Wu still have the publishing of the Bible. The Queen From who? King Henry, passing it down to King James. So this is where she knows she come from. These people. That's why she's following protocol to bow down to real power. Okay? This is the truth. Now let me show you even more so you understand what you are witness here. Okay? What you're witness here, they are cousins. Selassie and Queen Elizabeth are cousins. When you heard about Mussolini was going to war with Selassie, it was because they try to retrieve artifacts that still stay intact in Ethiopia. To be exact, they were trying to get the oldest Bible in many. It's important because I'm going to show you even more down the line. Okay? Foreign land, which is, that is, that's right, King Selassie. Okay, you getting there. Okay, you are getting there. Now let's move forward so you understand how that works. Okay, so you understand how that works. This is King Selassie. Do you remember the picture I showed you? The fro? Let me bring it back to the Medici. Let me bring Medici back. You looking at this picture real good now? And look at this. Do you see where this going? Okay. This is another, this is his bloodline, his lineage. Now pay attention. His name is what? Selassie. You know what cousin is? Medici. You know what other cousin? Orsini. Let me keep on moving. Let me keep on moving. We ain't stopping because y'all need to get this because it's very important. Now understand. They love to say, oh, the whitey's in charge. Oh, look at this and look at that. But every time you hear the whitey, people need to understand. Whitey mean the corporations of today. Remember, what you call United States, it's a corporation that we, our indigenous people, agree to discharge the debt of these indentured servants that actually get the green light from Morocco. Morocco was the first to agree to say, okay, these whitey people can stay in America and we're not going to ask them to pay the debt back. We can discharge the debt. So Morocco was the first to agree to discharge the debt for these indentured servants. And that's a fact. Now, I'm going to show you more. Wait a minute now, because I have to show you, because they love saying, oh, the white team's in charge. Now, understand, Morocco agreed for these indentured servants to govern themselves into a foreign land, which is our land, that we as indigenous people agree. That's why every single state have indigenous name. They couldn't change it to English name because that's our land. Then they don't have jurisdictions over that. But since we agree for them to govern themselves, then they create a constitution so they can govern themselves here. That is, That this is Queen. This is I always tell people, if you want to know the truth, find out the coin system. Because Europe was using monetary system a lot. Here in America, America was a paradise. We don't use money. Money was for these greed scumbag and people that are trying to use religion, so they have to worship the flesh. And worshiping flesh means always using yourself in the future as the closest to that God. We don't follow religion. We follow nature. Nature was our God because we rely on nature. The children of the sun, we rely on the sun, we rely on the water, the ocean, the air, the trees. This is right there because they're like, oh man, you everything. You said you was Egyptian. They forgot. What you call to marry all of this, they don't like this name. They don't want you to. This is what folk mean. You got to go to the English dictionary.
Kang was inside of a tank. The chess person of a tank. He was no longer inside of someone had Krang. Right, Krang. Yeah, not Kang. Krang. Yeah. Thank you. There you have it. Yo, listen here, man. This is a knowledge of a trillion, y'all. Get the like, get it to 150. The guy that created the FBI, okay? So look at what to God to test this guy that created. So now what? You no longer human. So Kang was inside of a tank. The chess person of a tank. He was no longer inside of something that's really happening. Amen. Okay? We want to call Reptilian today, but they have nothing to do with our problems. They want to put all problems on them. And the reason why they put all problems on them is because you could never see them. So it's what Ben Carson would not tell you because, you know, that's the agenda. The agenda is... Yo, listen here, man. This is a knowledge of a trillion, y'all. Get the like, get it to 150, man. Get it to 150, man. This is what Ben Carson would not tell you because, you know, that's the agenda. The agenda is clear, man. You know, you cannot tell the people the truth to evolve humanity. You got to keep people you know, out there flying and thinking and talking nonsense and make us really think like all the nonsense and all of this dumb shit. Nah, dog. None of this shit is really happening. Absolutely. We are humanity and we are way much more greater than what they are trying to say, man. Okay? So, again, this is the spliced creature, just to remind you, just like I show you this is a spliced entity that we want to call Reptilian today, but they have nothing to do with our problems. They want to put all problems on them. And the reason why they put all problems on them is because you could never see them. So it's obvious. So if you can never get to them, all you got to do is say it's them. So therefore, everybody going to keep wishing and you know you will never find evidence and proof for it. So that's the thing, when in reality it's not them. And this is the further proof that we've been genetically splicing on Earth. And look at the evolution. It's in the Wall of Egypt. There you go right there. Evolving from a monkey to a person. So this is what Ben Carson, probably know. I'm pretty sure he knows about that. And he just chose to keep humanity at loss. Okay? and then we destroy the fake narrative, man. I just hope now everybody that in this live, and I don't think I'm going to do a live like that again, but I think I covered all facets for you. It's crystal clear. This is pretty much the nonsense. We cover it all. And it's all about humanity, man. It's always...
And how the hell we are building these things and we supposed to be slaves? Make it make sense, folks. Make it make sense. Now, and how the hell we are building these things and we supposed to be slaves? Make it make sense, folks. Make it make sense. Now, this is Benjamin Banneker. He built the White House. And if you understand, look at what Google stated. Self-educated African American. God damn it, man. You couldn't make this shit up. You can't make this shit up, y'all. These folks is sick, bruh. So basically, you can so I can just wake up one day and I teach myself how to make monument like this. You know how hard it is we can't even build like this anymore. And you tell me, you tell me this dude taught himself how to put bricks and how to build stuff like this? That's how much they have to find ways to create mental gymnastics to lie. That's what you call mental gymnastics. You're lying. Ain't nobody can teach themselves how to do this. Ain't no slave that can do this. Ain't no African can do this because you don't find architecture like this in Africa. How you tell me he's an African, yet you never saw any architecture like this in Africa? To try to link his lineage. To say, okay, this is where his people come from. And that's why he can still teach himself how to do it, because he comes from a people that do stuff like that. None of it. You don't find anything like this in Africa. So how the fuck this dude taught himself how to do that though? Make it make sense. And on top of that, they told you he was a slave. What? I mean, you got to be sick to believe any nonsense like this. Now, why I bring this up is because I want to show you the same thing that he was doing. Right here still in America, we've been doing the same shit other places. Haiti, we was doing the same architecture to show you we are the same people within the same geniuses. Because you still find these Camino Chinos say, oh man, y'all don't create. Bruh, we create every goddamn thing we told you. Even the goddamn White House, which is the finest architectures in America, we did that. And how? This is the same cat. Yeah. Let me show you that that's the same geniuses from the same group of people operating the same architecture styles. Okay? So, now, let me show you. Let me show you. This is Haitian. This is the Haitian palace in an up close way. And why they use bomb, they lied to say it was an earthquake. They went to destroy the last energy building in the goddamn Caribbean. This is an energy building. They destroyed it. They bombed the place and blame it on earthquake, and they never fixed it then. They destroyed the last energy building in the goddamn Caribbean. Let me show you. You see those two ring sides? That's what they removed in the White House. The version that Jonathan Banneker has, they modified, they removed the energy sides in it. This is how the original look. This is how the original White House looked. You see the two energy grid, the one in the middle and the one on the side? Let me show you how it looked today. They made modifications on it, what you call the reconstruction. In the reconstruction time, they changed everything. Knock down those energy towers was the first goal, and also to hide things. This is the White House. Look at the two sides. They modified, they removed the two energy sides from it. That's the modification. That was what you call the reconstruction time, the reconstruction era. That's how they remove it. Now, let me show you the guy that built it after Banneker created. That's the Haitian guy that built the palace. His name is Georges Beauchamp. Let me say this again. His name is Georges Beauchamp. That's the brother that built the Haitian palace. So same people, same styles of architectures, same knowledge. Now ask yourself, why I'm not seeing these palaces being built like that all over Africa? Because they are not the same people. Now, his name is Beauchamp. Now, what Beauchamp mean? You really think it's a French name? No. His name means exactly why he's doing what he's doing. That's the same geniuses from the same group of people operating the same. And how? That's the name? No. His name means exactly why he's doing what he's doing. Beauchamp means beautiful bloodline. Let me say this again. Beau sang is a French name, is a French term, mean beau. Beau mean beautiful. Sang mean blood. So his indigenous name mean beau sang, beautiful bloodline. So he come from a bloodline of geniuses. Oh, listen, man. Let me drink a little water for y'all. I just dropping knowledge for y'all for 1 trillion years to come, y'all.
The Angry Chief. Check him out.
Yeah. Okay? Beau sang mean beautiful bloodline. So it makes sense that he's doing what he's doing because he comes from a bloodline of geniuses. Oh man, this is a new day. Because they love throwing game, throwing jab at us now, bro. We know who we are. We know our truth, bro. We know our truth. These are palaces in the 1600s. What you see here, this is Haiti. Now look at the energy building in the back. Look at the energy building in the back. This is an old church. They call them church, but understand these are energy buildings that the church moved in. This area is in Haiti called Palais Sans Souci. So you mean to tell me slaves from Africa was building these monuments? But better yet, Africans don't have monuments like that? Yo, make this shit make sense, y'all. Listen now. Can someone make this shit make sense to me? Make it make sense. So these Africans couldn't do this at home in Africa? Better yet, they're gonna come here and do that, but they couldn't do it for themselves over there? Yo, y'all just gotta be some oxymoron beyond repair, beyond... I don't get it, y'all. These are the buildings that we were doing in the 1600s. Now let me show you the citadel. His name, no. His name means exactly why he's doing what he's doing. It's insane how the brainwash sit. This is the place. This is a different angle from the palace before they burned it, because it was still a part of the Reconstruction. After 1915, when the U.S. come here, it was still part of the Reconstruction era. When they told you the Reconstruction, they was going to places, destroying things, burning places, stealing things. When they went to Haiti in 1915, that was one of the casualty places. They burned the whole shit down. They stole a shitload of boats. They stole a shitload of cannon. They stole a shitload of gold, including they stole worth of $42 billion worth of gold. And this is how J.P. Morgan was created. Chase Bank was created with Haitian money. The first cathedrals that they erected in New York City was because of Haitian. Now, we call them Haitian, but these are the Advanced ancestors, the Tartarian ancestors, the Arawak ancestors, the Mayan ancestors, the Olmec ancestors that evolved through time. Because the same thing our ancestors used to do back then, we're still doing it now. And that's a fact. Now, this was the same building at a different angle. Now, this is the eighth wonder of the world. Okay? This is the eighth wonder. Now, ask yourself, how can you possibly build something in this magnitude and thinking, no, this is on top of a mountain, to be exact, a hidden pyramid. Look at this architect. This is the thing. Listen, I think somebody showed a video somewhere, I think it's in Atlanta. These are the castle, same architecture castle that we used to build back then. It's the same thing. Some of them called Rikers Island. Rikers Island, as they want to make it seem, is a prison. They move into these things. These were not prison. These were castles. Look, listen. If you see Rikers or something, it's insane. the brainwash pretty much castle that our ancestors built. When these foreign people come here, they move in and they create institutions inside of them. They didn't build none of them. They move into it. Just like all of these church, they call them church, but they were energy buildings. They move in, the church move in inside of them. But they didn't create them. We did. That's the same architecture that you keep seeing that I'm showing you right now. This is a different angle from these things. Look at this. These are castles. Why you don't go in Africa, since we the same people, you seeing those same architectures. These things were created in the 17 and 1600s, folks. This is a time we've been supposed to be in chains. Huh? We're supposed to be in chains. How are you in chains and you doing this? Make it make sense.
Mesoamerican Sphinx. We know the truth now. We know the truth now here. Tomorrow evening, 7 o'clock sharp.
And this is an Olmec sculpture. And to be black, they covered it with tar. You see, it's a stone head, but it's covered with this tar. So not only the features and the thick lips come out, primitive, but it is made black. In any case, it has not been shown up here in Mexico City. But it is 100% Negroid.
This is a book written by Alexander von Wudenau called The Unexpected Faces in Ancient America, an attentive study of Negroid portrayals in pre-Columbian art leaves us little doubt about the presence of black people in ancient America, the unheralded presence of Negroes in the land bridge between South and North America. This is a picture of 3 Olmec Negroid heads found in Veracruz. In this book, he has over 100 depictions of Negroid Olmecs. It states, for over 3,000 years, a Negroid face was over the valley, facing the famous volcano in Mexico. We know the truth now.
Again, I'm keep telling people this is what they hide from us. They don't want you to know you the indigenous people. You don't want you to know you come from the Olmec Empire. They don't want you to know, but the money systems, they cannot lie. This is what they want to hide from you. So from Kukulkan and from the name Xi, okay, to make sure that you know where you come from as a Toto Xi, so rocking your hat to make sure your hat have the feathers, just like your ancestors right there that was in Europe, okay, just like you as a general, you carry your feathers in your hand, and then it's right there in the wall, right there from the Olmec wall to show you this is where the hat. That's why they told you, oh, these Haitian leaders got some weird hat. No, this is indigenous hat. So they make sure they keep the culture intact to make sure they remind the enemy who they were fighting against. Okay? So these are they make sure they dress and keep the feathers so the enemy know that the children of the land is the one fighting you back. Okay? So this is why I got to remind you this, because most people still ain't confused. Now for my Dominican brother here, you don't have this story. You don't have anything to prove that you are indigenous. Let me say this again. You don't have this story. You have no evidence to back your claim. We do. We have those artifacts. We have the money. We have the culture. We're not from Africa. You from Africa because your settlers come from North Africa, the Mauritanians and the Berbers. So it's funny how they got the Arabs. That's why a lot of them look like Arabs, because these Arabs come from Africa. These are the Northern Africans that were selling people, and they come up in here. These is what you call the Ottoman Empire. So when they call you African, you should laugh at them, because they are the one that's the true African, because that's why they even have an African president right now. Let me say this again. They even have an African president right now. Abinader is from Libya. Libya is in Africa. So therefore they have an African president. And they got that African blood. And that's the truth. You can hate it all you want. It's called truth. So let's move on, folks. So I just show you the culture where it came from. Now let's again, I'm keep telling people this is what they hide from. How pathetic these folks are, okay? They're insanely pathetic. So a slave walking around with a book, and the slave don't even know how to read the book in the first place, but they call him a bookman. And then in the area where they are speaking French, it don't make sense. They call it a bookman. It's just to show you these folks is crazy. Let me explain this one more time. Bookman was what you call a Muslim / every time you hear Muslim, they're none other than the Moors. Bookman was a Moor that joined the cause of the revolution. The revolution is what you call 1804. It was for the indentured servant. That was the final outpost fight to push out the British and to push out the Spaniards. So 1804 was the last stranglehold to push out the British and the Spaniards. So again, he used this term when they said, Bookman said, he called it Dambala. Let me say this again. Pay attention, folks. Dambala is not the name of what you see and hear. What you see here is the feathered serpent that we know as Kukulkan, okay? That is the name of our feathered serpent or the dragon. But the name Dambala was another form of deviate our truth, the takeaway of our truth, but no one understands this would have nothing to do with the spirit name at all. Matter of fact, we spend eons of time of fusing our energies into a command. The name Dambala means Damn Dum Allah Wedo. Let me say them. This is a command. It means Damn Allah Wedo. We said them like them, Dum Allah Wedo. That's what it means. It was not a spirit. It was a command. He was asking for Allah to damn these wedos. Wedos is a Spanish term word to call these folks devils. So that's what you call damn them Allah those devils. So if you want to call someone a devil, call them a wedo. A wedos mean devil. So damn them Allah wedo. So when we said them Allah wedo, it means damn them Allah wedo. So this is what it means. It got nothing to do with the spirit. It's all freaking lies. Okay? So we want to clear this out because people still lost. They don't get it. The name of this spirit, the name of it is Aida. Okay? It's Aida. The original name is Kukulkan. Okay? So let's make no mistakes. We clear this wave out.
That's fascinating.
Tartarian architecture.
It's either airships or they had giants walking around being able to stack these boys. Or they had portals that they're able to walk through with this material. That's the best I can tell you.
Yo, check this out.
Alright guys, this was a wild episode, man. There's still way more I wanted to talk about. I didn't get to go into the Grand Canyon and how something crazy is going on Grand Canyon, so I'm going to leave you guys with this little snippet before we end things. But there's some type of power structure that they don't want us to know about what's going on in the Grand Canyon. Check this out.
You hear that? That's static electricity when I reach my hand out over the edge. Wish I could shoot lightning bolts out of my fingers. This is wild. Crazy being up on top of a mountain in a thunderstorm. But check out that view down there. That is awesome. Absolutely beautiful out here. And the rain is kind of going sideways and up. Look at the hammer. Ooh, man, that just shocked me. Ouch.
There's some type of magnetic, electrostatic energy going on there in the Grand Canyon. Could it be a portal, Stargate under the rocks? I don't know, but there's definitely some type of energy signature going on. I didn't get that far on this video. It's almost 4 hours long, but I wanted to show you guys this before we end it.
Probably not safe to be up here, but here we are. I paid $20 to get in.
Part 2, we're going to dig off into the Grand Canyon and the Moors, see what type of significance we can find.
Look at the hair on my arm. It's standing up. But I'm not gonna risk it too much. I think we'll call it good there.
He didn't want to keep putting his hand out there because, it was getting powerful. So there's definitely some type of power energy structure around.
You're here. Do it again.
They aren't telling us the truth about the Grand Canyon, guys. This video is for entertainment purposes only. None of this has been fact checked, but you can read what they're saying on the captions below for this short segment. Please read it.
I think pockets of original people existed in underground locations, as well as the beings behind this, until enough of the original infrastructure was dug out of the mud flow to restart civilization. Then the Earth was repopulated through human and social engineering. And have executed and implemented an elaborate multi-generational plan comprised of fallen angels, reptilians, archons, and other negative extraterrestrial races, creator and creation, all of whom have been interfering on Earth, but who have managed to convince most people they don't exist. They had to do it this way because in a free will zone like Earth, the human beings who live here have to give their consent to choose whether to follow the light or the dark. The only way they can accomplish this acceptance, however, is by outright lies, deception, and duplicity, because if people knew the true agenda of these controllers, the majority of humanity would never, ever accept this. What I think is that they found a way to create a new 3D time loop between the years of 1492, the year of the fall of Granada in Spain, and the first voyage of Christopher Columbus, and 1942, which was midway through World War II and the year of the Philadelphia experiment, were the boundary years of a new 3D time loop called Rome. The new, what I believe was occulted timeline, was somehow inserted, and everything was grafted onto the existing infrastructure of the planet, and falsely attributed in the newly written historical narrative. I have seen different dates given for the Philadelphia experiment since then, but the date of July 22nd of 1942 was the first date that I encountered when I started doing this reset timeline research. I have speculated that the Great Frost of Ireland, which took place between 1740 and 1741, was the result of a rip in the fabric of space-time caused by the Philadelphia experiment. There is actually a time-traveling naval vessel in the field of information in the form of a 1980 movie called The Final Countdown. While I certainly can't prove this theory, the Final Countdown could be an example of predictive programming. The negative beings have to tell us what they're doing to gain our consent for their actions, but they don't tell us they are telling us, and instead rely on such methods as predictive programming in movies, TV shows, and books, etc., in order to gain our tacit consent, since we don't know they are telling us something, rather than informed consent. Predictive programming is defined as storylines or even subtle images that in retrospect seem to hint at events that actually end up happening in the real world. It certainly appears that the since the 18th century were all about bringing down the once stable, hereditary ruling houses going far back in time, whose identity was misrepresented and whitewashed in our historical narrative, and new forms of government were established, ultimately one of the things leading to today's world.
Hey, you guys been asking for this Moorish Tartarian banger. You guys are going to get it. Now we in Archon territory. Oh my goodness. You guys been asking for this. Shout out to Joe and the Forklift Gang. Here you go, man. Y'all been asking for this Moorish Tartarian video, man. I just want to say this on the record. I got love for everyone. I got love for all human beings. Just us getting down to some type of truth into this history. All these ancient structures. There might be a 1,000-year gap that they just trying to put on us. I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, for entertainment purposes only, this entire video for entertainment purposes only. Damn.
They used the Moors from that start all the way through, literally to this point that I'm showing y'all right here on Google. When they like, hey, the Moors was 711 AD all the way to 1492 after they were in Spain. Why would they all of a sudden just go to Spain? Why would the Moors, who had been helping Spain that whole time, the Moors built Europe. The Moors built modern day Europe. France, Italy, the architectures for that, the blueprints, the layout, all that come from the Moors. All that designed strategically, specifically on certain energy points, all of that. The Moors did that. The Moors did all of that. All they modern day cathedrals, them big ass cathedrals that sits on the hills with the certain shapes. It was the Moors who put squares on top of circles and triangles on top of cutting triangles in half, no shape, and how to mix no shapes together. You know what I'm saying? They know how to put no circles on top of no rectangular cylinders and no squares on top of hexagons and octagons and all that.
My question is, now that we've been a little bit in here, what about the catacombs though? Because there are catacombs under some of these cathedrals. So my question is what came first? The cathedrals or the catacombs too? That's something else to think about, you know?
When you looking at a church, you looking at a building, that ain't nothing but a bunch of shapes cut off, put together. That's how architects design. It goes back to the basics of what they taught you about in school of shapes. All this is shapes. Everything around you, shapes, 2 rectangles. What you talking about? You know what I'm saying? Basic light magic. That's why they lied to us about shapes. Right? That's why they lied to us about shapes. All that. That's why they got rectangular walls and ceilings, shapes to smash your electricity, to keep your electricity boxed in. You feel me? Shapes. But who you think taught them that? The Moors. The Moors, this the same, the Moors did this. All of this designing the Moors did. All these blueprints the Moors did. But it was because they had the Moors under spells. You gotta feel me. You know what I'm saying? The Moors wasn't themselves though, neither. Remember, after they start mixing in, you feel me? Put that thing on them, you feel me? Tell them everything. I'm just breaking it down to you. They got to telling them everything, and then they got to doing everything for them. Not even knowing they had them under spell. That's how they put the Moors. You feel me? You ever heard something called the Vril? The Vril that's a real celestial entity. You feel me? They talk about the Vril being a form of reptilian. It is a form of reptilian. It's like the worm where it gets inside you and it grows in you. It lives in you. It's an actual being in force, but it's like in worm format. They call them the Vril. They actually exist too. They are part of the reptilians. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? They can enter through your eyes, through your nose, through your ears, through your nose, through your mouth. That's what Body Snatchers was about, the Vril. They made a whole movie about the Vril. Body Snatchers, you know what I'm saying? They like little worms. They can get inside you and then take over you because they actual entities. You know what I'm saying? They used the Moors from that start all the way through, literally to this point that I'm showing y'all right here on Google.
Like, we keep seeing that double-headed eagle. Why is he carrying this chalice? This looks like, if you ask me, this looks like to be some type of chalice. Where is this? In Spain? He's holding this double eagle. So that's interesting. That's an interesting statue in itself. Go forward a little bit. You know, the breastplate work on this is immaculate. You know, this looks like some high level armor. Look at the golden sword. And if we could see the outline of the eagles on the side, so we can almost guarantee that whatever flag he's holding is the double eagle. So that might be double-headed eagle. So that might be something we got to dive into. The double-headed eagle. All right, we're going to keep going, analyze this artwork. Here we see some more amazing armor that they have. This one just is a single head. But this is fascinating. This shows gloves. What is he or she? I can't tell. Holding. Possibly a she in this video. What are they holding? I have no idea. If you guys can give me some type of confirmation on what they are holding, that would help a lot. But you can see this might be some cheetah rug or hyena, so this could be possibly from Africa. Or this could be some type of deer, antelope. I don't know. What is this pendant? You know, looks like there's a pendant too. You know, let me guys know what you guys think on number 2 painting. We have another one. It looks like, if we're looking at this photo, and we have to explain what's going on, they're telling them what to do. Going by the looks of it, you can see the concerned face, like, what is y'all doing? This is how something needs to be done. That's just what and you look at the open hand posture, hip on the hand on the sword. You know, that's just what I'm getting. And look in the background. Who is this in the background? This looks like some type of archer or something. Is this part of the army? Let me know your guys' thoughts below on this. This looks like a priest or something in the background, terrified. Like, oh no, the jig's up type, you know. That's just what I'm getting from this photo. Moving forward. This is pretty self-explanatory. It looks like he's on his knees to this dude. And he's stepping all on over the rug. Damn. This brother got an earring in. The white. Where is this from? I would like to know any information on this. What is going on? Everything we have been taught has been a lie. You know, the history classes, you know, something happened here. We got another one. It's definitely lining up. What my man said on the previous TikTok is definitely lining up. If you look at my man here in the white robe, this is clean. This is style. Got my man on the horse. It looks like the horse posed for us. Moorish. Tartarian. We could see the robe, the feathers. These horses were probably trained. You can see that they decorated their horses. This is fascinating. And look at this. What does that say? Let's see what happens if we punch that in. More Nikki. This is definitely some validity added onto it. Let me see what happens when I type it in. Alright, this is the only statue I could find when I tried to type in that name. And this one has a location. A Moorish statue at Bern, Switzerland. So, yeah. The other one reminded me like it was in Paris or something. You know, let me know your guys' thoughts below. But let's continue back on that last one that was showing all the pictures. This was the statue I was trying to find. This is incredible. Why are their eyes closed? Here's another one. Man, the gold. Why does this kind of remind me of Kodak Black though? Man, we've been here doing stuff, y'all. Here's the statue I was talking about that we found earlier. Here's another painting. You can instantly tell a Moorish by the painting. If you see the double-headed eagle, there was a bell we ran across. In Russia, I believe that had the two-headed eagle on it. I believe it was in, one of you guys put it in Discord. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Alright guys, if you take a look at this could possibly be a Moor. Because if you look at the double-headed eagle on the right side of that bell, what were they doing making these bells? You know? These bells have a significance. The vibration and frequency of these bells had a significance. If you look at the double-headed eagle on the right side, look on the left. Tell me the one on the left doesn't resemble a Moor. I wonder what this bell says. Can anybody decode what this bell says on the right? What language is it? Is it Latin? Is it Hebrew? What is it? Here's a closer look at the bell. You guys pause it. So I'll keep it up here for a little bit. Tell me what you think about this bell and the double-headed eagle or griffin. The double-headed griffin. Now, really quick, since we're on the topic of bells, I just want to say quickly, you know, the Japanese in these animes really be putting stuff together in our faces. You know, there's a character that is able to manipulate frequency from a bell. Check this out.
あの膨大なエネルギーはどこに？炎が冷気に？
Kareem's Cool Fire Control explained. Kareem, the lieutenant of Special Fire Force Company 1 in Fire Force, is a second-generation pyrokinetic, which means he possesses the ability to control fire, but in his case, it's rather the opposite. His power revolves around thermoacoustic refrigeration. With this extraordinary skill, Kareem can harness heat energy from his surroundings, channel it through a musical instrument, and convert it into sound, effectively lowering the temperature. Through a continuous loop of this process, he can create ice, forming formidable frozen projectiles that he can hurl at his adversaries. In addition to his ice-generating powers, Kareem carries a bell, which serves a unique purpose. When he rings this bell, it produces an alarming noise. By combining this noise with his ability as a second generation, he can manipulate and reduce the ambient heat around him, further empowering his ice-based attacks. Another remarkable aspect of Kareem's powers is the fact that the more heat added to an object or a person when covered in his ice, the more the ice will continue to encase them up to a certain point. While encased, the ice is structured with air holes, which allows his immobilized opponents to breathe. He can also control the freezing speed of his generated ice. An impressive example of this was when he froze a vortex of fire almost in an instant.
Shows how a bell can be used as a weapon using sound and vibration and frequency. So if we go back and look at that other Russian bell, what really was the significance of bells? Were they really just using for healing, or what else did they have going on? Were they able to build with them, levitate with them? Like, there's change different properties with the bell. Is that even possible to change the frequency or molecules of something with bells? I don't know. Just something I thought would be interesting we talk about, and I wanted to show you guys. But let's keep diving on these waters.
All right, so I'm in Long Island City in New York, and was videoing this old church over here, which is a Tartarian design. You could see it's a mud flood. It's buried. You could see the lower level is clearly below ground here. And you could see in the back here how it just drops down. You could see there's steps. There's a whole other level back there that's been revealed. They dug it out. And these bricks on here could be blood bricks. They're definitely they're conductive because the bricks were part of the old system. You could see the old the brickwork.
What did he mean by blood bricks?
You could see the staircase goes to the second level, and the lower level is, you know, there's the windows down there. You could see. So this building here as well is it's an old Tartarian mud flood buried building. You can see the entrance is very grand and tall. Looks like it's been stuccoed over, refinished. All these windows have been closed. So there's another entrance over there as well that's pretty tall. But this is what I wanted to point out right here, is these lower windows. You can see they put a new facade. This stuff right here is all brand new because the old brickwork is revealed right there. And you can see the lower level right there.
They got no jurisdiction over us. We're Moors, and they know what this flag means. They know what this means.
Yeah.
Oh, they know what this means. They ain't dumb. They ain't dumb. They know this right to tell. They swore oath on this. They took an oath on this. Yeah, they took an oath on this.
This joint crazy.
No, they swore oath on this. They know.
This was old New York, in its beautiful golden age, before they rushed to tear it down. Why would they tear down these marvelous structures that were meant to stand for 1,000 years? Some being torn down in just 50. It's because we inherited this city, and those who did not construct this grand architecture could not hope to maintain it. And most of it you would find fell to ruin. These were all empty and abandoned cities after the last reset, the mud flood. You can even see the sunken layers in many of these pictures here. Just look at that grand architecture in Penn Station. And to think they tore this down in less than 50 years. And you can find the same scene and the same sad story in nearly every city, not just unique to America. We all rush to tear down all these grand structures in all of our cities and replace them with glass boxes, literally tearing down paradise to put up a parking lot, while all these cities looking far different than they did in their golden age, when they were told to be built by horse and buggy. Question everything, friends. Until next time.
What a banger, man. If you made it this far, be sure you hit a like and subscribe button. If you have Facebook, Twitter, share this. Instagram, share this video with everyone you know. This one is a banger and we need to get this one out there. Shout out to the Angry Chief for a lot of those videos. Shout out to One File Val for some of the videos. Man, I appreciate you guys and all the hard work you do. What we do in these dark waters, we just get as much data as we can, and we keep our head on a swivel and come up with our own judgment, you know. Use that discernment, and all praises to the Most High for, you know, getting me through this video. And I just want to say thank you for everyone. I know a lot of you guys been waiting for this Tartarian, Moorish Tartarian banger for a while, and here you go, man. We talked about reptiles actually being the bacteria, reptilians being bacteria, the vril, man. How crazy is that? You guys, let me know what you guys think in the comments below, man. And I just want to say thank you. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button and share this on Facebook, Twitter, everywhere, y'all. And I'm going to catch you on the next one. I got to chop this bad boy up. Peace.